It's showtime.
This episode of the Off-Road Podcast is sponsored by Warren, Medical Gear Outfitters, and Colby Valve.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 384, SEMA recap.
Tonight, Coy doesn't read the show notes.
Aaron gets jacked up. Jeremy is sick. Coy might be an accomplice. And Ben had a blast.
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, the podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. Your hosts tonight are Aaron. My name's Ben, and joining us once again is Coy. That guy down there, yep. And welcome to the show. So, Coy, what's going on, man?
Not too much. I got some snow wheeling done. This
I hate you.
let's see, it was Saturday
Didn't you
night.
snow wheel?
No.
No, it was me. Did had a good time. Went out with a guy I work with. He was one of the guys I went to mob with. Has a
That's cute.
81 Toyota Trailblazer. Yeah, it's a 400 before they made him. We went up to Snow Peak and went over the mountains and stuff, and there was a abandoned Jeep Cherokee piled into the ditch, clearly stuck, but had been there at least a day. You could tell just by the amount of snow on it and stuff. On our way back down, I told the guy I was with, "Look, let's wipe some snow off the window, make sure there's not a body in the back seat or something." I didn't think about it when I went by originally, but I was like, you never know. Somebody decided to sleep it out. It didn't end well. So as we pull up, somebody was trying to pull it out, but they had a weird winch. They were in front of it trying to pull it backwards with their winch going over to a tree, but they didn't have a snatch block. So they were like pulling through a strap in a clevis and doing some weird stuff. And I pulled up behind it and was like, "Hey, you just want me to winch it out?" They're like, "Yeah, we'd love that. This is our buddy's Jeep." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's winch it out." And I was like, "You going to start it up?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't have the keys, and he's stuck farther down the mountain with a different friend." I was like, "Oh, well, you going to go get him or anything?" And he was like, "You know what? It's my buddy. I'll just break the ignition. We'll just pull it out." So he fiddles with it a little bit, and then I was like, "Hey, you got like a pliers?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, here you go."
I got pliers.
I gave him a pliers. He's like, messes around for a little bit. He's like, "I need a screwdriver." I'm like, "Oh, here's a screwdriver." 5 minutes later, he had it fired up. I pulled it out, and then we all headed down the mountain. One of their buddies was down there, and supposedly the other buddy was with that buddy. They had stopped, and I'd passed him, and I was like, "Hey, were you waiting on a red Cherokee?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, my buddies are up there. They were going to pull it out." And I was like, "Yeah, we got it pulled out. The dude got it started." He's like, "Oh, yeah, the other buddy left with the key. They said they got it out. I didn't realize they were driving it down, though." So we went to the bottom of the mountain and aired up, and then they came by, and I gave them some air. And I thought, they might have just stole that, and I pulled them out. I'm not really sure. So I could be an accomplice. I'm not for sure.
Was such a helpful citizen. Enjoy your 3 years in prison.
The way I look at it, it's not grand larceny because there's no way that thing was worth $1,000. Like, I don't think I would be good.
You're in Oregon too, so it's really easy to steal vehicles and get away with it, right?
Well, if they were stealing it, then yes, it was super easy for them because I helped them. Like, they didn't even have to get it unstuck. So, yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's what I did. What about you, Ben?
I did get to play in the snow, but it was only lowland snow. We got
Wait a minute.
Hey.
I listened to last week's show. I was gone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where do you live?
in the foothills.
Foothills. Yeah. So foothills are totally different than lowlands. So
Yeah.
let's get this straight. Is it lowlands or foothills?
I got 4 inches. My friends in Puyallup got like an inch or 3, and it went away quickly. My snow stayed.
No weather, man.
My snow stayed, and then it snowed again yesterday.
So
Unfortunately,
your 4 inches stayed strong, but their 1 to 2 inches just went away.
exactly.
I hate it when that happens.
You'll have that.
So they
I gotta interject here real quick. Ben, so Coy doesn't know where Ben lives very well, and Jeremy probably doesn't either, but I will say that Ben probably lives in something similar to foothills. He is not down on a valley, he's not on top of a mountain, but he's at the base of, you have to go uphill to get to him, and then it's a base, and then from there on you can get up a lot higher to Mount Rainier and stuff. So I would put Ben in the foothills for sure. I got your back, Ben.
I'm sorry. To Mount Rainier. Ben's like 3 hours from Mount Rainier. What are you talking about?
No, he's not.
I am 30 minutes away from Mount Rainier National Park.
Yeah, it's not that far for Ben. It's yeah.
I'm like an hour or 2 hours away from the other entrance, the LB Hills entrance, but the one that's close to Evans. What is that? Sunrise?
I think so.
I've been to Packwood, Washington. I've been to your house, and I feel like I wasn't 30 minutes away. But
you imagine that Mount Rainier.
Mount Rainier National Park is a giant square. Yeah. So, it's right there.
So yeah, but my wife drove the 4Runner to work, so I couldn't play around at night, and during the day it was kind of just really slushy crap. But the first day I took the boys sledding at the school, and there's just so many people there. I got tired of it. It's like, let's go home, and they're like, oh, we're done playing, we're not gonna get to play in the sled anymore. And I pulled out a strap and
took the hood off the 4Runner.
Flipped
it upside down.
They've got really nice they're called, I think it's Lifetime or Alpine sleds. They're thicker plastic. And I hooked them to the back of the 4Runner and pulled them around the neighborhood.
Now a word from Skinny Medic.
Yeah. Fortunately enough, I was only going like 5 miles an hour. By the time I'd stopped, they were stopped. It wasn't like I was blasting around 25 miles per hour waiting for a car.
He tied the rope around their waist so they couldn't let go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfectly fine, totally safe.
So yeah, and then I pranked the guys, be like, oh, we unfortunately we are in the ER right now, and I got 3 reallys, and I was like, no, not really. So,
but Ben, I know you were pranking us, but is the prank on us if we're all like, wow, Ben did it again? Yeah, I've been to jail 5 times, and I message you like, hey guys, just got arrested. You're like, come on, what for now? Like, got you. I didn't get arrested.
True enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, we played around the snow. And then last night or yesterday we got snow, but the boys were at their grandparents, and they didn't get home till like 20 minutes before my wife had to leave for work. And so we went to go clear off the snow off the 4Runner real quick. And I was like, quick, hop on. And they hopped on their sled, and I pulled them around the neighborhood real quick.
Oh, good.
And I don't know. I just love the cackle of my son's laugh as he's driving around, as we're driving around.
Yeah. Kevin says that he has fond memories as a child on a Bronco hood. I've never got pulled on the hood, but it seems legitimate.
I've never had a hood. We used
exactly. Thank you, Tim. That's what I'm talking about.
That is really good, Tim. But when I was younger, we did but the big inner tubes, and my buddy's dad pulled us around the neighborhood in his little diesel Datsun or whatever it was. Maybe it was a Mercedes diesel.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Was it a pickup?
No, it was a car. I just remember it was diesel, and it was like a Datsun or a Mercedes. It was, I don't know. It was.
Those are really similar. Mercedes and Datsun, really similar
in that era. Yeah, the bodies. Yeah,
I don't blame you for not remembering, because you just had that raw diesel fumes in your face.
I was 10 and didn't care about cars then. So,
and he probably had concussions too,
multiple
no concussions yet. So yeah, that was my week. What about
Eric?
You,
says he did a Chevy Metro hood down a hill a few times.
So I thought it was a Geo Metro all this time.
No, at certain point, Chevrolet got rid of Geo and it went under the Chevy moniker.
Yeah, wasn't that the Tracker as well?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Leona says they used to get the quads out and they pulled each other around on sleds to see who could hold on the longest. I like these games. I just don't get enough snow down here to do that kind of a thing.
And you have that awesome field to do it in too.
Yeah, I've got what would make a great sledding hill that you could just sled for an eighth of a mile. It'd be a long sled.
I've never ever pulled my children behind me. That seems incredibly irresponsible. However, I have pulled my wife on a sled behind me hundreds of times, so for miles through the snow and back.
But I'm just saying, Corey, children are replaceable. Wives aren't.
Well, yes, they are.
I would
but
argue it's the other way around, but still.
yeah. Honestly, children are pretty pliable too. I mean,
They're durable.
kids fall out. Yeah, their bones haven't hardened yet. They're flexible usually.
There's doing it the smart way and doing it the dumb way. Driving around at 20 miles an hour, hitting the corners with your Subaru, with your kids tied to the back. That's a dumb way. Driving around 5 miles an hour, just putting around in low gear. It's a little safer.
Yeah.
Smartest dumb guy and the dumbest smart guy. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a Venn diagram there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm right in the middle. That's why they call it a Venn diagram, right?
The Venn spot. Right there where you get a concussion, but you don't die.
Exactly.
It's a safe zone.
Well, Aaron, what about you, buddy?
Well, I've actually gotten a little busy. I got a little bit more siding up on my shop 2 weeks ago. So now I have 3 walls of siding, although 2 of those walls don't go all the way up. I'm gonna be putting a clear siding in those spots. I think I mentioned that before. And tomorrow I'm gonna be purchasing that. I found a place local to get it. So got some more siding on the shop, which is good. Saturday morning I drove almost to Coy's house. Didn't tell him. I was down in Kaiser. I bought a used tire to test.
Whoa.
It's a test. It's a test.
Ben,
This is a test.
Have you not learned this lesson yet? Use tire bad.
Yeah,
We call it
for sure.
It's another Venn diagram.
So,
You'll be okay for a bit.
Well, so if this does fit, I will keep it as a spare tire, not as a primary tire. So I went and I bought a 37-inch tire. I know I was going to just only do 35s, but I have to be one up over everybody else except for Jeremy. So got myself a 37. We're going to see if it's going to fit. I know it's going to cost a little bit more to do 37s over 35s and definitely take some trimming. So here's a picture of it, not mounted up, but kind of leaning against the hub to show.
Is that because your front parts, your hub, your spindle and stuff hasn't been swapped over yet?
Correct. Yep. So I can't slip it on. The bolt pattern doesn't match. And that's at full droop right there. So probably going to be a little bit of fender cutting in the rear. And I think I got to trim off like an 1.5 inch slice off the back of my ARB bumper up front to get the clearance I need there. So that's the front. And then I put it on the back.
So you're going to have to buy a plasma cutter now.
Oh boy, that would be something. Eric says, so in the event of a blowout, you'll have another 20 miles down the road.
It's very true.
Yeah, that's awesome. So here it is on the back, and this is actually mounted up how it's supposed to be. This picture's deceiving. It looks like it's touching front and rear, but here's the front. It's got quite a bit of clearance in the front. It's got quite a bit of clearance in the rear. But
is that full droop?
No. This is on jack stands, but the jack stands are supporting the axle, not supporting the frame in the rear.
So it's underweight, or it's on.
It's under. Yep. It's ride height basically. It's
static.
It's not tucked though. So definitely I probably need some trimming for the tuck on that. So for people listening to the radio, I'm just showing pictures of what it looks like. There is for the rear, there's probably 1.5 inches before the tire makes contact at the lowest corner of the front and back of the fender. So
I would urge you to remember as well that your new 37s will probably be 1 inch or so bigger.
So I was a little concerned about that, but these tires actually have a decent amount of tread to them. So you can see in this picture, they aren't as shallow as my bald tires. So if they add another inch of tread, I would be surprised. And if it did, it would add
inch on each
it'd
side.
only be a 1/2 inch on each side. Exactly. So I don't think it's going to add 1 inch. I'd be surprised if it added a 1/2 inch on top of the existing knobs there. So we'll see.
So
You're right.
Need to re-gear?
Well, I don't know. I've got a V8. I've got lots of torque, so
I know it's like
Torque.
with that V8, it's like, will you need to re-gear?
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to know. Well, I did some reading on a Nissan Titan forum, and people were like, "You don't need to re-gear for 35s. Most people re-gear for 37s." So we'll see.
You weigh a lot less than a Titan, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's that.
not when you load it up to go camping in the snow, though.
That's true. That's true.
You can have a 4 low of it, though.
Yeah. So I did the tire testing, and then I took the time to strip the whole front end apart, and got the knuckle all the way off of the Frontier. So basically, I just need to get the knuckles off of the Titan and start bolting things up. So I got to get just the knuckle off. I got to pull the hub off of the knuckle, put a new hub on the knuckle, the right hub, because the ones on the Titan are the wrong hub, and then bolt the brake brackets on, and then start bolting everything up. And then honestly, the trickiest part, and this isn't tricky, but the trickiest part's going to be bleeding the brakes. I think it'll just all pop together real good. What I fought the most were the stupid clips, not clips, electrical connectors, the connectors for the ABS sensors.
Oh,
So, and they're right in the wheel wells, and they get filled with dirty water and stuff, and I had to pry them apart. I'm glad I don't think I broke any wires, so we'll see.
well, if you did, they're probably speaker wire thin, and you can always upgrade.
They
them.
definitely are.
Is
Yeah.
it like the wire for your ABS sensors or something?
Yeah.
The nice thing about those, I found that you pry on too hard, it stretches the wire and breaks it inside, and you'll have no idea. It looks totally fine. And you have to replace it anyway. Yeah, it's cool.
I'm hoping I didn't do that, but we'll see. I did it. Maybe that's a Toyota thing, because I think Ben's fixed his, you've had to do yours, and my Avalon has that problem. So maybe Nissan just has a higher quality of ABS wire. I don't know. We'll see.
No, most of the vehicles have, it's like super thin 20 gauge wire.
Yeah, it's definitely like 20 gauge wire. So someone in the comments says that V8s are better than 4Runners.
It's a broad comment, but I don't 100% disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the 4th gen does have a V8 option, does it make it the better than all?
Say it, Coy. Say it.
I'm going to say that may be one of the best engines in the world. It may be the lowest powered V8 that there is, because the V6 has more horsepower. So,
Yeah.
You're buying it for the badge at that point. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I've been up to is hunting season started last Thursday, and Thursday morning I got up for work, and there were elk in the field. I put a spotlight on them, and they were there, about 20 of them. So I called the company and be like, I'm going to be late for work. I'm going to try to shoot an elk this morning. I went in the house, got geared up, went back out, waited for the sun to come up, and there were no elk in the field. I think I scared them off with my flashlight.
I will let you know this, Aaron. It is 100% legal to bait deer and elk in Oregon. So go down, get you a couple things of alfalfa and some apples,
Alfalfa.
and go ahead and put that at a known range from whatever window you shoot from, and problem solved.
Well, so I went on my drive to work. I couldn't miss work Friday. So on my drive to work Friday, I just nosed my truck into the field, and there were like 35 elk, and they all got up and ran off from the headlights coming at them. So I'm like, yes, 3 days in a row they're there, because they were actually there Wednesday morning too. The kids saw them when they were leaving for school. So Saturday morning, getting up early, going to get myself an elk. Oh, let me back up. Friday night, I reached out to a buddy. I'm like, hey, I know you got some night vision. I need to borrow your night vision. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And he didn't ask any questions. Like, are you hunting? Are you hunting at night? He just didn't. He's like, I won't turn you in.
That's a good friend.
Yeah. So here you can see, it's hard to tell, but there are 3 elk in the field in this picture. This is Friday night at 10:45 at night. I'm like, sweet, they're starting to show up. I go to bed. I get up extra early. I poke my head out the back door. There's no elk in the field. I'm like, dirty elk. So I spent the day doing what I really need to do, working on my truck. Saturday night, same thing, poke my head out the back door. There is 8 elk in the field at 10:45. So I'm like, sweet. Sunday morning, I'm going to get an elk. Sunday morning, no elk.
See, they know it's safe during the night.
The thing is that for elk on my property, they're only there as the sun comes up and they leave. They do not stick around throughout the day. So you can only shoot them first thing in the morning, and that's your only window. So Sunday morning, I didn't get one. Sunday night, which is last night, same thing. Poke my head out. There's more than 12 elk in the field.
You need some corn and some alfalfa.
Yeah.
And a gillis.
Yep. So.
And is a cow tag you have this year again?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll try to shoot the right one. Is my plan. Let's try to shoot the cow this time. Cow elk. So, yeah. So once again, I haven't gotten elk, but for the type of tag that I have, it's a landowner tag, and it goes all the way to March 31st. So I've got 4 months to get this done, basically. December 8th to March 31st. Yeah. So I just have to find them. They just got to be there for me.
I have a request, since you're going to live here for a while and hopefully get it like elk every year. Can you shoot this elk, and then we dig a pit, and you know how like in Hawaii they do the pig in the ground? Like, we cook a whole elk in the ground.
That's a big pit, number one. I mean, you got the equipment. You bring it.
Your neighbor's got equipment. I'm just saying it would be pretty epic, you know.
I mean, we could do a pig. That'd be fun too. I'll show up for that.
Yeah.
I'll drive down to Oregon. Let's cook
scared.
a pig.
I'm scared. Bubba says he's got a late season cow tag that starts January 1st. How long does that run for, Bubba? So anyways, yeah, so I'm going to get myself, I'm going to really try hard to get an elk this year, and I'm just going to hang on to that night vision as long as he'll let me, so that I can check the night before and check the morning of. Yeah, he says his runs till the end of March, so that's about the same. One other thing, so I missed last week's show. Is a little tender to talk about, but the week before last week was Thanksgiving, and it's important to check on your relatives, your loved ones, your friends, because you might not realize what they are or aren't going through. And I had an uncle, a real close uncle of mine, that tried to commit suicide. Thankfully, it didn't work. He took a bunch of pills, and it didn't work. They got him to the hospital, and he's getting help. He's getting treatment, getting help, but real hard. It was really hard on me, because he is the closest uncle that I have, and we talk all the time and kind of hang out. So make sure this time of the year you're checking on your friends and your family, and if you know of somebody who may have depression or things like that, or if their life sucks, make sure you check on them and be there for them. So definitely a tough deal. So
Yep. And if you're feeling down or whatnot, reach out, talk to someone. Or if you don't want to talk to anyone related to 988 is the new suicide and crisis lifeline. It's 24
Yeah.
hours a day, available in English and Spanish. There's help out there. You'll affect someone, no matter how little you feel. You'll affect someone in
Yep.
big ways.
Don't be like me. I mostly affect people negatively by relentlessly mocking them. So Ben knows what we're talking about. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's move on to something less somber. Ben, you want to do this ad read? I don't think you've done it yet.
All right, let's see how well my dyslexia
I'm
works
sorry,
today.
it's not an ad read.
All right. Well, we've got a new contest to announce. Well, we've announced it already, haven't we? It's very simple. All you need to do is write in and tell us what rig you would buy and build, and how would you use it. How would you build it up with, you got this large sum of money. How would you build it up? We're going to read all the entries December 19th on our show live. So you have until 6 p.m. on December 19th for us to mail that in. We'll pick a winner at random to receive a pair of epic Warren shackles right there on the screen. Aaron's got them. We'll mail them off to you. All you got to do is write us. You can send it in through social media, Facebook, Instagram, or email us at offroadpodcast@gmail.com.
And I'm going to call some people out in the comments here. We've got Bubba in the comments. I don't think he's submitted anything yet.
Timberlake
Rick hasn't. Yep, Tim hasn't. The Kev man, I don't think has. Leona hasn't. You guys need to get on it. In our comments here. Your
Pete
Tundra
hasn't.
buddy, Pete hasn't. So he says he wasn't stuck.
Yeah, you were.
I want to hear what kind of vehicle Pete would build that he definitely wouldn't get stuck in. So,
Which are you guys doing your own in just to add to the pile?
We're thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm possibly. Yeah. What?
I'm in.
Are you thinking that I'm? Are you thinking that I'm going to win?
Well, if I'm eligible for the prize, I hope you are. Like, you technically already have the prize. Like, you could just be like, "Oh, it's fine now."
I'm going to save on mailing. Mailing. So
Shipping's going to be really cheap for this one.
You could have Ben ship it to you too and eat it.
Yeah. Bubba says, "What am I supposed to submit? I missed it." So Bubba, we want you to pretend like you won the lottery, like the big lottery, and we want people to write into us and tell us what rig you would buy, how you would build it, and what you would use it for. Like, would you just rock crawl? Would you overland the world? Is it a submarine? Is it an airplane? Well, I mean, I don't know what you're doing.
You're going to buy a 1968 Toyota Scout. Then you're going to swap in the weakest V8 in the world that also is a Toyota. Then you're going to put huge tires on it because you have such a small V8. You have to re-gear it and do portals. And then you're only going to use it for going to Home Depot. That's it. That's just that's a what if.
So, can't forget the RGB rock lights and the wheel lights.
I just saw I was being advertised through Facebook for Home Depot, and they're selling diesel heaters through Home Depot now. So they are overland AF there now.
Overland Depot.
Yep. Bubba, my elk tag is in Unit 14 Trask BT Dub. Cessna on 44s. I think they already do that with those
Bush planes.
Bush planes, yeah, they've got some big old balloon tires on those. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them, well, maybe 44s might be too big, but
they're more like 30s. I've seen it.
They're big tires. Well, I got some listener feedback, I'll
read it.
Okay, you're going to read it?
I'm going to read it because it's from Aaron's wife, and this is the best, most simplest feedback I have ever heard. The Christmas gift guide was worthless for me to pick out something for Aaron.
Yeah. I'm gonna call her
I
out
don't
on that.
know. I think she should
Live.
get you a tire groover. That way you're ready for snow camping.
There was a ton of cool stuff on there. Just because she hasn't budgeted enough to get her husband a Christmas gift, really not the
Boom.
off-road podcast's fault. So maybe
Boom,
next
mic
year,
drop.
plan ahead a little bit more and add a little bit more to
Yeah.
that Christmas gift budget.
Yep.
Yeah, he's getting nothing now, right?
Wait,
That's
you guys
okay.
get Christmas gifts from your wives?
I just buy it for myself anyways.
I buy my own presents.
Boy, speaking of that, Ben, I saw something your wife posted on Facebook yesterday and tagged you in it. In her Facebook stories, something about how it's like her looking at a dress and she's like, yeah, I just don't want to spend money. And then my husband is buying everything without even looking at the price tag or something like that.
Yeah. And then she asks me if she should get it. She's like, I don't know. This costs money. I'm like, get it. Then I feel a little less guilty about all the money I spend.
Exactly. You got to push them to spend. It makes you not feel so guilty.
My wife's
how
not a spender. Like I have to
No,
argue
mine-
with her to buy new shoes.
Mine isn't either.
Mine.
We also want to thank our sponsor.
Wait, you have a wife, Coy?
And she's the same way, but the way I look at it, if you're not first, you're last. Like if you want to buy something, you need to get on it before I spend the money. Like we're out of money. Like this is not go. Like I'm not stopping you.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
Spend that money. We also want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Patch. Head over to patriotpatch.co and check out their selection of great patches, shirts, cleaning mats, signs, and stickers. You can also join the Patch of the Month Club for $15 and receive a patch, matching sticker, and artist proof each month. Well, speaking of that, we've got an Echo, and I've got the Patch of the Month here. I've got Santa Claus himself and the sticker behind him. He's got his Noel tattoo. He's got a Gucci Glock. Is that a Glock?
It looks like a Gucci dog.
Yeah, it's a Gucci Glock, and he's got like an RPG over his shoulder.
Yep.
And his kukri knife, and he's ready to spread some Christmas cheer.
Yep.
Yeah, this must be for the people who are naughty, is my guess. So,
Kukri knives, one of the least menacing name for the most menacing knife ratio there is.
yeah.
Like it looks like
Yeah.
it was completely made for cutting things in half. But kukri knife, it sounds like you let your kids play with it,
Yes, indeed. And we cannot forget our patches. Can we, Aaron? Hey, Coy.
That's
you have
right.
A set of our patches?
What's that?
You have a set of our patches, right?
I do. I used my lumen locker the other night in the snow.
Nice. Yeah, the lumen locker, which does glow in the dark. Boom. And the Off-Road Podcast patch, those are available, shipped to you. $13 for the first one in the United States. $10 for any additional patches, or you can pick them up for $10 from us in person if you live in our areas. We can arrange a meetup and hook you up with some patches. Just send us a message through any of our channels, and we'll set you up with a PayPal link. I was thinking I could mail Jeremy his, because I got like the Christmas card from him with some fudge and some baklava, and I was just like, I could mail him his patches. Or
from a guy who held your Garmin InReach hostage, you're going to mail him those?
No.
Why not give them to him at the snow camp trip?
That's a good idea.
Up. Yeah, it's only
because then there's a pretty good chance you'll forget them, and then this can go on longer.
I was actually thinking of going to Rick's house because I've got something for Rick, and being like, hey, Rick, how's it going? And like, hey, look at these patches. Do you want one of these patches, Rick? Just so Rick gets a patch before Jeremy knows.
Yeah.
And
speaking of Rick, not very far. Speaking of Rick, that's a very nice meme in our super secret private group. Thank you for not sharing it on our live show. But it's still pretty good.
Yes.
I think Coy's a big fan of the Olympics.
All I do is win. Yeah.
Well, we would have a Colby valve ad for you, but there's no news.
Well, play the ad. Let's play the ad. Play the ad.
Have tire troubles ever left you deflated? Colby Valve has got you covered. Ever have a valve stem leak? Colby Valve makes reusable and easily replaceable valve stems that don't require you to remove your tire from the wheel. They work with your off-road rig, ATV, side-by-side, commuter vehicle, or even your tractor. Never be left stranded again because of a busted valve stem. They also have a tire repair kit for those punctures that keep you away from doing your favorite thing, wheeling. Make sure to check out colbyvalve.com or ask for them at your local off-road products store.
And I would say that there's no news this week because this main topic is news. It's all related to SEMA.
Go prepared with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
So, Aaron, do you want to hear some of the coolest news ever out of SEMA?
I'm not sure.
Do
I? Oh,
no, you probably don't, because we already talked about one of these, but there's another one involved in this. So, this first article involves Toyota, and they talk a little bit about the Trail Hunter, which was obscenely disappointing, but kind of cool to see that manufacturers are kind of, I don't know, we saw it with Ford, right? The Bronco, all the accessories and all that.
Yep.
This is their other one, a Sequoia.
Thanks, Ben. I hate it.
You hate it?
Yeah, I do. I do.
You know, I do. I don't. It's nice to see a built Sequoia though, because that's one thing you don't see a lot of.
I think it's pretty clean.
Yeah. And then I caught this little tidbit in the back. I thought was a nice little added detail.
I thought that the TRD Sequoia is like $74,000.
It's unimaginably expensive, I imagine. Yeah.
Before you add an auto home tent, Max Tracks, light bar, Prinsu rack, front and rear bumpers, winch, tires, wheels, sliders, ditch lights,
yeah.
Probably interior stuff, upgraded shocks. This thing has got to be over $100K.
Yep.
That's
It's
basically why I hate it.
Because you're poor?
No, I just
because you're poor.
If you're going to the dealer and buying this as your rig, like I just I feel like that kind of defeats the whole building a rig. Like it's not even really building a rig if you buy just a bolt-on lift kit and Max Tracks and stuff. But at least like you thought about it, picked out what you liked. If you just go in and sign for a loan and then you're like, yeah, this is what I got now. Like it's just I just feel like that just makes the BLM lands get used poorly, and I don't know. I guess overlanding for the hobby of overlanding and light off-roading and destination wheeling, whatever you want to call all this stuff, I don't think this really helps it. It helps all the aftermarket people selling stuff to get it more mainstream, but I don't think it helps. I don't think it furthers it in a positive way, honestly.
Did we share the article about Utah's permit yet?
You talked about it at one point, yeah.
So Utah has that permit, and I almost wish a lot of states did that, to where you can't go onto ORV land until you've had an educational class. And it's not trying to be elitist in any way, in my opinion. It's so that you're educated, because there's so many people that they see this rig, they go, wow, that's awesome, I want one, and they have the $100,000 to drop on a rig, or the 50 on a side by side and fully equip it out, and then they don't learn, versus the guys that go out with a $500 Cherokee and they kind of had to learn along the way, and they're in
And
less.
then they leave an oil spill.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more damage done to public land by $500 Cherokees than I've ever seen in
Yeah, but
$100,000 rigs.
there was there's a lot more people that learned before they got too deep into it.
I kind of like the idea, like you're saying, of the permit, but I don't trust them not to keep increasing fees, and I don't think you should permit a publicly owned land. Like that's not.
No,
I just feel
I agree.
wrong in so many ways.
Yeah,
I see it both ways. I don't want there to have to be fees and permits. I just wish people would be respectful. I wish we could have it. I wish we could have our cake and eat it too. No fees and have people be respectful.
just learn.
So that's all. That's all, guys. Saying.
Yep.
Well, I think it looks cool. It's clean. It's well put together. There's no trailer hitch though, which is really I find interesting.
It's looking at the rear bumper. Where is it? I didn't really get a good picture of the rear bumper, but it looked like it was like one of those hitch style bumpers.
Maybe it's like those Land Rover ones where you jerk it out from underneath.
Oh, I've seen that where you have to.
That would do it.
Yeah, you gotta do the little shaky jerk thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just because of how it mounts that they don't. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it's neat. Yeah. Is there more in that article to talk about? There's
there's some
Simba,
other-
Sequoia, and Orion Toyota, which are the overland expedition crew guys.
Yeah, I didn't grab pictures for those. But
Okay.
I'll screen share it while we talk here.
So it says that Claycroft Expedition Overland had a pair of their vehicles there. Simba, the Sequoia, has Icon Dynamic 3.0 compression dampening electronic valve suspension system. Custom winch bumper or custom bumper with a worn winch. Let's see here. And an Alucab hardshell rooftop tent on the back of it. Let's see here.
Identical to the last 37 builds that Expedition
I know.
Overland's done.
I know. And then it says the Orion Tundra, which is a limited model, not a TRD model, has Icon suspension, more Icon suspension, CBI off-road bumper with worn winch, skid plates, rock sliders, ARB diff breather, lights, fog lights, rock lights, and it has a full-size Alucab camper on the back of it. So, and then a refrigerator and a heater.
Guys, stay
So
warm.
definitely, I mean, it's clean build, but it's like everything else they've done, clean build. It
talk about
doesn't
the-
feel like it's changed.
Patriot campers.
I'm confused by this one. Oh, I see. It's got more pictures, so you have to scroll through the pictures.
Yeah.
So this one, and I'm sorry for all the people that are just listening while we are talking about pictures. I guess we need to try to do a better job on the pictures here. So Patriot Campers had an FJ49, a LC79 Super Tourer, and an LC79 6x6 Mega Tourer. So all Land Cruiser products. The 49 series is a two-door pickup truck, an old school
I love
like
that
FJ
so much.
FJ40. Mhm.
I would abandon my family for that vehicle.
You know that there's some of those. There's a couple of these in.
Lincoln City.
Well, I don't know about that, but they're in Oregon, Northeast Oregon. I'm trying to think the town I go through to get there.
Oh, over by like St. Helens or Rainier or something.
No, Northeast, not Northwest.
Isn't Land Cruiser Northwest over there somewhere?
I mean, it could be outside of Burns, Hines, Oregon.
Yeah, no, I was unaware of that.
There's a church that was converted into a restaurant, and someone told me to eat lunch there, and so I did. And
That's where Eric and I ate.
Yeah.
Are they for sale?
No, but they're just like in a parking lot across the street, and they're pretty clean too. So let's see if they've got any information here. So the FJ49 says based on the FJ45 mining truck. The LC79 started life as a 70 series GLX that had its frame extended, and the Mega Tourer, which is the 6x6, started as a 70 series. That basically nothing is stock on it. So there's zero information about them other than one of them was extended 11.5 inches. But yeah,
the 49 series. Like
yeah, 49 series is kind of neat. Although I don't like the paint job on it. It's like the fake patina or a real patina that they put gloss over, or a wrap that looks like patina. Just paint it a real color. Don't screw around with that. I could care less about fake patina. It's got exo cage that's pretty neat. Pretty classy. The 6x6 is like one of those really new looking 70 series that you can still buy in Dubai if you have a lot of money. So a 4-door pickup truck, tray bed, 6x6, all the overland kit, double roof top light bars, probably also turbocharged. It's got exhaust.
Looks like an RC car, honestly. Like,
yeah, it's got exhaust stacks poking out the top of the headache rack off of the rear bed area, and taking up the front half of the tray. Josh, you'll have to. We got Josh in the comments here. He showed me a picture of his plans. He says he wants to do this with his Nissan flatbed, and I can't think of what you call the little half storage area at the front of it. It's like a doghouse shape, and it just takes up the front half of the bed. So you still have the half back of the tray still.
wait, what kind of Nissan is he wanting to do that with?
Well, a Frontier, of course.
A 6x6 Frontier?
No, not 6x6, but the flatbed.
Oh,
No, Nissans don't need a third axle to four wheel. They're fine with just two.
I mean, I saw yours last snow trip, but whatever. It's like an extra axle would have helped you. Just at least
maybe
payload capacity.
Yeah, maybe if I brought less firewood and had better tires.
Just saying, like it probably adds another 500 pounds to your payload to have an extra axle set back there.
Possibly. Josh is just calling it a canopy, so it's just this little half guy. So, anyways, yeah, let's move on from that to talk about Nissans. Actually, we'll jump forward to the Nissan ones here. So we did talk about this truck in the news a few weeks ago. This is the newest generation Frontier that they did, basically the Titan swap suspension, Titan rear axle, I believe.
You need fenders.
And then they also put the Titan V8 in it. See, my fear, so this has got probably fiberglass fender flares. I highly doubt that they pounded that out in metal. My fear with fiberglass fenders is the trees and things that you run to in the Pacific Northwest that would just explode the fender rather than just putting some creases in it.
So I was kind of worried about that, and then I thought of like how durable my Raptor liner is. If you Raptor line them, it might help keep them together.
Yeah, I honestly doubt they're even fiberglass. They're probably like polyurethane or something, and then the amount of flex that those would have is probably better than actually steel, because you probably scrape stuff pretty hard and they'd pop right back.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess I'm just not I'm not into the Dune crowd enough to know. Clearly I didn't go to Christmas Valley with you guys, so if I did, I probably would know.
I seen a Frontier in Moab That was actually a 2021 or 2022 as well. And
Yeah,
the metal
what color
didn't
was
seem
it?
to hold up. The metal didn't seem to hold up against stuff. Like it still got quite a few dents and stuff. So, yeah.
Rick says I needed 2 extra axles on the snow trip. You know what? Next time, you guys, I'm bringing 0 firewood. You guys are in charge of all the firewood. That's it. I'm not bringing any firewood, and I'll show you how good I can wheel without carrying the burden of all the firewood on my back, literally.
So next time you're going to ditch the firewood and bring 37s to try and redeem yourself. Seems
Something, at least 35.
So yeah, I like that build. They also shared another one. It's more of a street truck, but I gotta say that's pretty clean. I like the ramp.
I wouldn't say no to that truck. I like it. The fat flared Frontier. I mean, lowered 2-wheel drive. It's a good looking.
Yeah,
it's a good look.
Everybody loves a wide body. Oh man. Oh boy. That's it for Nissan. Just those 2 rigs. I mean, actually, at the very top of the article, it mentions a like a Datsun pickup truck that has an EV swap in it. So I mean, that's kind of cool.
I like it's got the BRE classic Nissan paint job. I like that Datsun a lot.
If my truck was red or white, I would have paid the money to do the rest of the vinyl to match that.
Yeah,
I'm basically in the same boat. If my truck was red or my FJ was red or white, I'd be doing full Iron Man Stewart graphics on that thing. Like it'd be the Toyota 3-stripe for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So there's your Nissan news from SEMA. That's a clean looking bumper. They did a really nice job on that truck. I think that truck is cool. I bet you if they brought that to market, people would buy it.
If it was that versus the Sequoia, Adventure Pro Sequoia, I'm taking that every time. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of got a baby Raptor thing going on. That's not bad.
Yeah,
with Japanese motor, so it's probably twice as reliable, right?
Well, I mean,
as long as
Aaron's
you
truck
keep it on the road.
Aaron hasn't drove his Nissan since the last snow trip, so I mean,
Hey, it's a collector. I'm keeping the miles low.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Well, our next one is Mopar. So in this article, we've already talked about this Jeep, the what do they call it? The Surge
Electro mod.
The Surge, the CJ Surge. So they dropped a electric drivetrain into a CJ. Rick says that thing is pretty sweet. I think it's pretty cool too. Although the rear bumper kind of fits. The front bumper looks really out of place on it. At least the angle of the photo that I've got for it.
Here, let me screen share.
Basically, they just took I think they took JKU bumpers and put them front and rear on it. And I don't know.
I mean, it looks okay, but I mean, I would literally take a pallet of Surge soda pop over this Jeep Surge. Like, I don't know. It seems like it defeats all the purposes.
Yeah, it's definitely a day trip rig.
Yep. The other one they had was the TRX.
Says the gold standard. Oh, speaking of TRX, what day was that? It must have been. Yeah, it was Saturday morning as I was headed to pick up that tire. A TRX, a fully wrapped TRX with this American flag motif was behind me as I was going through one of the small towns out here. And I actually know who it was. It was the owner of a gun store that's in that town. And I've seen the TRX from all angles as you drive by, but I've never had one behind me. And it looked really, really good in the rearview mirror. I don't say that like I was going too fast and it couldn't catch me, but no, it was just like it was a beast back there. So
Did you pull over and be like, "Hey, my Frontier has a V8 too"?
Where is it?
no,
At home in the garage.
on jack stands. So this has got 18-inch wheels, 37-inch tires, BF Goodrich KM3s. By the way, the best tire out there. It's of course the TRX, so it's got 702 horsepower. It's got lots of yellow and black graphics on it. It's got the what do you call that bar that goes on the back there?
It's
From
like
the
a
80s.
bull bar, light bar.
Yeah, there you go. It's got
Show bar.
it says it's got 14-inch lights, LED rectangular lights on that. Oh, they call it a RAM bar located behind the hood. So those must be, yeah, they're not 14-inch lights. It's like a 14-inch light bar, not a rectangular light. I guess a light bar is rectangular, but the way they describe it makes it sound like a rectangle headlight, but it's a 14-inch light bars up there. So they must be some spotlights up high. Skid plates. The custom skid plates actually have increased the front approach angle by 2.3 degrees. So it's got rock rails, 2 5-inch exhaust tips. Wow.
For the loud engine noises.
Yeah.
I like this one. I don't know why, but I love that bed setup.
It's caught my eye too. So they're calling this one the Backcountry X concept. So it's a Ram 1500 4-door. It probably has the 6.5 foot bed, 6-foot bed, somewhere around there.
And then it's like it's got the Power Wagon that has the bed top / side storage boxes, but it's like the lids have been removed off those, and then this like drop in storage container that's almost makes it like a steak side on the top of the bed, like, and it lifts up. It's like having a canopy with no roof, which says a horrible way to explain it. I'm not sure how to explain these without a picture, but if you can pop those out and you have a color matched lid that pops right back on, like the Power Wagon bed storage,
Yeah,
that would
be
be
cool.
just a sweet setup to be able to have your gear in there. Pop the lids off, pop those on, go, come home to the garage, pop that out. Like, it could be a really versatile, cool camping.
I don't know.
hunting
You could
setup.
almost leave them in there, and it's like, oh, okay, switch out that gear, throw in the camping gear, and even be overlandish or good weekend or camping. Even throw a rooftop tent on top of that.
Yeah, you could leave it on there all the time. It looks like they would be easily to come on and off, and you can be, doing work with your truck, and then weekend just slap those on there. And then the tailgate has a cool modular-ish storage system where you could mount all kinds of like axes and stuff on the inside of the tailgate.
What's weird about this tailgate is the surface of the tailgate. When it's down, you're supposed to be able to use it like a workbench. So they call this the Backcountry X, which makes it sound like you take it out camping and stuff. But the tailgate's for carpenters. It's got holes that you drop tools that have pegs on them into, and it locks them into place.
Clamps and things, but I
Clamps
like
and
the
things,
idea
yeah.
of it just because I don't actually need like a right angle vise on mine, but if you could use these holes to like solid mount a stove or something, it'd be pretty sweet to just fold your tailgate down. Your stove's already right there. Just pop it up.
I'm sure it
Something
would
like
be
that.
too hard to figure out a mounting system to do that with those.
Yeah, this truck's on 35s. It looks really cool, and also part of the bed is a bed rack with Thule crossbars. So I'm sure you could put a rooftop tent up on top of that as well. Let's see here. Our next one is Ford. So Ford brought it this year to SEMA.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and screen share again. I'm gonna move it into this page because they really did bring it, especially ARB.
So the top article is a picture of the what did they call that one?
The radio
The
medical aid Bronco.
Service unit vehicle, the SUV, the service unit vehicle.
Now, I'd like to
So-
point out to all the Jeep owners on the show, I like the way they mounted the high lift jack inside on the tailgate instead of on the hood. See, look at that. Just mounts there, out of sight, out of the rain. You don't have to literally mount it across the hood.
Well, how are you supposed to get turned in for having a machine gun if you don't have it mounted?
I mean,
on
when
the
you're at the Home Depot, people can't see that you're an off-roader because your high lift jack's not literally mounted across the hood, I guess. But it just seems like
actually, that's not the high lift jack. I think that's the ARB pump jack that's costs as much as
The hydraulic jack.
a 4 set of tires.
yeah. Same thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Gotcha. So it says it was inspired by field medics of the early 1900s. It's got the upgrades are geared towards offering first responder services. It includes a winch, underhood air compressor, jack mount, winch, and light bar. So it includes a winch twice. I don't see 2 winches, but it says it includes a winch, and later on it also includes a winch. So
They
a
were
winch
very excited that it included a winch.
comes with a winch and a wench. See,
no, they're both spelled the right way.
well, they misspelled one of them.
I guess that could be. Yeah.
Don't ruin the dream.
So it's got on this Bronco, it's got a rooftop rack. It's got a drawer system in the back with an ARB. Apparently, that fridge, because this is for first aid people, you must put the body part that got severed into that fridge.
Well, you could put the body part. You could also keep some medicines in there that need to be
Yeah, we
refrigerated.
keep all our transfusion blood in
Insulin.
there. You know, keep a
Yeah,
couple
the
bags of
blood.
keep some bags of O negative in there.
Yeah. Travis says because all field medics had vehicle mounted fridge in the early 1900s. Yeah.
I don't understand the theme either because I don't see anything that reminds me of anything 1900s on this.
I'm not sure. It'd be fun if they shared something. So I just don't know.
Yeah.
This has got an ARB front bumper, skid plates. Are those a type of a rock slider? I'm not sure what's going on with the rocker panel down there. And then it's got half doors for the front doors. So anyways, it's a good looking Bronco.
Definitely a cool Bronco.
You want to talk about that one next, Ben? The Bronco Sport Off-Road Heritage Edition. So this one has got a lot of weight on the roof. It's got a rooftop tent. It's got what looks like a 270-degree awning. It's got 8 LED lights on the roof. I'm not sure what the side thing is. I'm not sure if that's one of those pop-out showers on the other side of the roof rack. I'm surprised it doesn't have any ditch lights. It's got a steel front bumper, no winch, and it's got fog lights, and then some more fog lights, and then a light bar in the winch. So it's got a lot of lights in that front end. I hope they upgraded the alternator.
I heard you like LEDs, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like they've lifted the suspension on this bad boy a little bit. It says it is a 2-liter Badlands model. It's got an air compressor. Oh, it says it's a portable air compressor, and an off-road recovery kit, Borla exhaust, and a 70 amp accessory jump starter. Well, yeah, they're going to need that because they left the lights on.
And it's got white wheels because that matters too.
You know, I actually like the paint scheme, that blue and
Yeah.
off white. Like looks fairly sharp. On the other hand, I feel like if I met the guy that owned this vehicle, I wouldn't say anything about anything, and he would spend the entire time explaining to me how it off-roads just as good as a real Bronco. And then 3 weeks later, I'd see it on Facebook where he ripped the transmission pan off somewhere and had to get towed 1,600 miles home.
That sounds about par.
That is a side-mounted light bar by the looks of it. I can't see any other picture.
I was wondering if it's a side-mounted light bar. That's pretty wild. Not a lot of info on that.
Let's see. They do have a Maverick that is
Street
it's
truck
just a
Maverick.
lowered street truck. Yeah.
Yep.
There's also
what is this? That's the Lightning, Ford Lightning.
yes. Yep, it's a F-150 Lightning. They're calling it the race support truck. It has one tire in its bed. I'm not sure how much they're supporting with this. It's got rock sliders. It's got a tube frame rear bumper. Looks like factory front bumper. A little bit of a lift. Off-road tires, 4-door, 6.5 foot bed. It's got a roof basket tray top on it. I kind of like
these lights on the top.
Say that again.
The amber lights on the roof, like what are those? Like I can't.
It has kind of a visor thing going on with some marker lights, maybe some light bar stuff going on up there. I'm not really sure.
Maybe they flash. It does look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Once again, I actually like the way this truck looks. Looks pretty sharp, and the build out on it's not terrible. I don't really care for the red accents everywhere, but once again, I feel like I'd be talking to this guy in a parking lot, and he'd be telling me the Lightning is just as off-road capable and just as good as a regular F-150, and then a month later, he'd be dead. He'd be on the forums asking for. He'd be on Facebook asking if somebody could bring a 240 volt generator out to the Alvord.
This also drives me a little bit nuts. It's got a tonneau cover with some Thule bars on it, and the spare tire is ratchet strapped to the Thule bars over the tonneau cover. Those tires don't look that big. Does it not fit in the factory location? Did they upsize it just enough to make it not fit?
Maybe they didn't put it underneath to add ground clearance, or maybe it is a secondary spare tire.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, where is the batteries on these Lightnings? Do they even come with a spare from the factory?
That's a good question. Maybe they don't come with a spare, and that's why it didn't fit there.
Or it's one of those weird baby spares that you have to inflate.
That's something like that would be my thought.
Yeah, that's a good point. It mentions that it's got a fully mobile toolbox and welding setup. So that's actually kind of a cool idea. You could be doing some welding from the batteries on the truck.
So my battery died. Can I plug into your house real quick?
I would love to see how much you could weld with one of these. Like
how long you're going to weld for?
Yeah, like I'd like to be sitting in it while they're welding and just watching the range like down.
The lights in the cabin dim when the welding starts.
Yeah. Look, man, you got to get this fixed in 43 miles, okay, of range, or we're not going to make it back.
Yeah. That's another good looking Bronco that I don't have in the comments here anywhere.
Yeah, I just saw the picture and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. There's another one that they have in here that says it's the Bronco Extreme Beach / Extreme Sports Support Bronco. So 4-door Bronco. I can't tell. I'm sure it's lifted because it looks like it's got some big tires on it. Those might even be 40s. And it says that
support Bronco should just be the medic one, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
I guess this one has the same color of paint scheme. This has got a kayak on top. It's got a mountain bike up there. It's got a side awning. There it was, Ben.
Got its own granola and yogurt maker inside.
It's got the winch bumper, skid plates, rock sliders. It says it's got Dana 60 axle, so that's only in the rear, with a 5:38 ratio, and a refrigerator and fishing equipment.
I mean, that looks like it's ready to go on an adventure. That's for sure.
Yeah. Eric in the comments says that the green lightning looks terrible. Yeah, it's not so hot looking. The wheels are different. I kind of like the uniqueness of the wheels, but
They're definitely different. But
yeah, it looks like it's got a pair of fat tire bikes hanging off the back of it for when you run out of electricity.
it's slammed to get you there.
Yeah.
Makes taking those bikes off easy.
Let's hit one more. Let's talk about the van. The Transit Digital Nomad. So it's a Ford Transit van. It's got I like the front bumper on it. It's one of those semi hidden winch bumpers. And it has an actual winch in it. It's got some good off-road lights. It's got a wedge style rooftop tent. Although I thought the point was to sleep in your van. I don't know.
Got that. I've
Is that
seen
a rooftop tent or is that a pop top?
No, it's a rooftop.
It looks like I think there's space between the tent and the rack.
Well, I guess you put the kids up there and then you have the van to
I
yourself.
suppose.
Can you imagine climbing into that? Like it's kind of like the exaggerated
up there.
version of how people act about climbing into a rooftop tent. It's like, all right, now I get to go 11 feet in the air versus like 5 feet off the or 6 feet in the air.
This is
Yeah.
like the Overland free candy van. I don't know. It
Well,
looks like someone repurposed an Amazon Prime truck van.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
It's one of those tall vans, so you can stand up fully inside of it. I feel like maybe this is for a family, so maybe you do put the kids up there and you sleep inside, because it looks like there's a little kid's bicycle inside, and if you look, there are 4 chairs, 2 adult-sized chairs, and then like a bench seat that you make your kids sit on because you don't care about them.
One thing I love about their little setup here is the solo stove with the fake fire.
And the inflatable fire. Yeah.
Yeah. There
That's
you go,
pretty good
kid. Throw
look.
some marshmallows on that.
I hope it comes with the inflatable fire.
Yeah.
That's going to be the name of my band, Inflatable Fire.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Not that good on the CD, but in concert, it's worth it to go see. Sure.
It's worth it. Let's see here. We've got quite a few more to crank through. So the next one is from Autoblog. And
Volkswagen?
did we not? Oh, sorry. Yeah, the Volkswagen one. Yes. So there's a couple here to talk about for Volkswagen. They're both called the Base Camp, and you can see them in that picture that Ben's got there. So one of them is the Atlas, the Volkswagen Atlas, and the other one is the Taos. I think I pronounced that right, Taos. So the blue one is the Taos. And they're both
German accent. Taos.
They're both good looking.
Everything looks kind of good. Everybody's doing the Overland thing, but did they all get together at some kind of convention? Like, look, we got to come up with some new Overland stuff. It's hitting big, guys. What's some good ideas? And somebody's like, what about roof racks and all-terrain tires? And they're like, this guy, yes.
Yes, yes, he gets it.
Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
All terrains, roof racks, done. Go. Everybody go. And that's what we did with everything.
Yeah. So the Atlas has a roof rack and all-terrain tires. It has a small canopy that comes off the side, awning. I mean, there's no special front bumper, no special rear bumper. I like in the picture Ben showing right here that the seats must all fold flat because there's a mattress in there with a blanket that's only wide enough for one person, but it shows 2 pillows. But that's a cool concept that you can actually sleep in the back of this vehicle. I think that's a big deal for people.
I actually heard that these 2 Volkswagens, they put the check engine lights in the bumper, and so it actually doubles as amber fogs now. So you save.
Nice. And in this picture, you can see it's got an air chuck spot, and it's got like a accordion style hose that you would use to fill up
Like a mattress, air mattress.
Yeah, an air mattress, or floaties or whatever. Yeah. Pretty nifty. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like
built-in
that.
air compressor is a
That's
nice
cool.
feature.
Yeah. The Taos is very similar, although you can't. I mean, if you were really short, you could sleep inside of it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So same kind of thing.
crossover, right?
Little suspension lift, roof rack. Although this one doesn't have a basket, it just has a rack. All-terrain tires. If I didn't say it already, a little bit of suspension lift, and it also has the air compressor in the back of it. So,
And they all have these sweet base camp emblems. So from a distance, you
Yes.
can tell base camp. Yeah.
I think that that's going to be like Subaru's Wilderness Edition.
Yeah.
I
So-
do like the color scheme for the Taos, that blue and black.
I'm all
It's so
for
much-
big bold colors.
I like how much different their color scheme is from the Subaru Wilderness ones. The blue and black with copper accents. Wildly refreshing without that copper.
Yes.
Yeah,
wow.
take that copper off. Yeah,
Though I will say the coolest thing out of that I've gathered from Volkswagen is the built-in air compressors. It's a really nice feature.
yep. Well, let's jump back to Toyota and talk about some Lexus.
Right.
I can't remember if we talked about this one in a news article or not. So they've got one called the LX600 Urban Concept, which we don't really care about that much, but it's basically like a street version of a LX600. It looks like it's got some sticky aggressive tires. Looks kind of sharp. But they've also got the LX600 Alpine Lifestyle Concept. So
I'm sure we'll see some of those in Telluride.
you're not going to be surprised about this one bit. It has all-terrain tires and a roof rack.
No.
Yep. Light bar integrated in that roof rack. Lots of space because it's a long roof rack. This picture is showing a rooftop tent, like a 2-person rooftop tent that opens to the side, plus quite a bit of boxes in front of it.
I'm impressed because the trend has been the hard side rooftop tents or the wedge style, and this is
You
one
can't
that-
fit. You can't fit one of those plus all that gear up there. I don't think.
exactly.
You know, the
Yeah.
thing I'm most impressed about this one is the time machine they built to go back to 2001 and get that multicolor changed paint to put on it.
Chameleon
Yeah.
paint? Oh yeah.
Yeah, chameleon paint, exactly. This one's got a worn winch with a hidden winch system in it. No tow hitch. Surprised by that.
Well, you're not going to need to be pulled backwards. You're only going forwards.
I suppose, yeah. So there's actually 2 different vehicles here. You're showing pictures of 2 different ones. So there was the Alpine Lifestyle Concept, which was the gray one, and then there's the Overland Concept, which is a GX 460. The other one is the LX 600.
I'm sorry, I was on the wrong one.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. So the LX 400, sorry, the LX 600, looks like it also has a hidden winch. Can't totally tell.
Yes, it does.
But it's got a drawer system and some nice cargo management in the back.
And
Yeah.
all terrains and a roof rack.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. And then we switch
Oh.
over to the GX 460, and
Oh,
it
sorry.
has, I mean, it looks like it actually has mud terrain tires on this one. I think they've stepped it up.
Technically,
wanna
yes,
know
those are mud terrain.
How many coolers this person's bringing? Because I mean, you look at the 1, 2, 3 containers plus a cooler,
A
and then
cooler
you
on
look at
top.
the back of it, and there's 2 coolers, a Yeti bucket. Like
Ben, this is for overlanding. So you have one cooler for food, one for all your coffee grinding accessories, and then one for your IPA beers.
oh, okay,
Yeah, they can't touch.
yeah.
Well, and the fourth one is where you store all the ice because none of those were fridges.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Josh asks how they fit all those chairs in there, and that's a really good point. They've got a bunch of chairs sitting around that camp, but there's no space at all. Those are big Adirondack chairs.
That's in the backyard. You just drive to the backyard.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I'm assuming they drove to the Airbnb and then set up the awning in the back by the campfire and hung out and then slept in the Airbnb.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, the overland concept is pretty. It's pretty burly, and if you don't know, I don't know which of these two Lexus because I don't think they're the same chassis. Maybe they are the same chassis. I might be wrong, but at least one of these two is based on the actual Toyota Land Cruiser that we don't get here in the States anymore.
The GX 460 is, I think the LX 600 is a different chassis.
Okay.
The Overland concept one. Go ahead.
Rick answered Josh's question about how they got the chairs there. He said they used the support truck.
Perfect.
Probably. The Overland concept GX460, other than the paint scheme, it's like it would be Fast and Furious nightmare stuff. But other than that, actually, it's pretty burly looking. Like it's got a hidden winch bumper kind of thing but it's still got kind of a cool metal front fascia area. Like it looks pretty good and looks like it's semi capable compared to a lot of the stuff it seems.
And that GX 460, that front grill bumper thing takes up the whole front grill. I think it really looks pretty I don't want to say factory. It fits very well.
It looks good. Yeah. It looks like something it looks aggressive, but still looks OEM. Like it has a sharp look.
It's got a lot of ground clearance too.
Yeah,
which matters.
And that skid plate looks just like one of those Demos shovels that they bolted under there. But
I think that's a CBI skid plate.
It is a CBI, so you know it's legit.
Yep.
Seriously though, the Demos snow shovel looks identical to that.
It does.
God,
I should mount mine under my.
You should.
4Runner.
At least you'd have a skid plate then, Ben.
I do have a skid plate. I don't know what you're talking about.
On your vehicle. Sorry.
On my vehicle.
Well, he has one. The other one's in his garage.
No, it's in front of the garage.
It's in Pete's garage.
It's outside.
It's outside. I just need to go out there with a grinder.
Well, Quadratech brought a custom two-door Jeep Wrangler to the show. And this is one that I've heard quite a few people saying, I wish Jeep built this truck. So it's a two-door pickup truck, which this thing would be sweet to bomb around. I'm not a fan of the front bumper.
If you just Google AV Brute, that they made these. Like
somebody's already made this before?
Yeah, like this is something that was pretty cool like 16 years ago. Like with JK first.
No way.
Throwing that out there.
I
feel so sorry for AV and their Brute. Like they've been knocked off by everyone now.
Yeah. What I don't like about this rig is what looks like a Amazon front bumper.
No, it's a Quadratech front bumper. Same thing.
Yeah. It's not very good looking. And I've seen these on Amazon and eBay for like $225 or whatever. Maybe
they
not
could
the
have done,
Quadratech brand.
Considering the amount of bumpers available for these Jeeps, they could have done better. I agree.
Yeah.
I like those wheels though.
If Greg had any play in working on that. Oh, yep, he did. Just checked.
So they use the Wrangler 4xe for this for the build. And yeah, Greg Henderson helped with this build, who we've had on the show. Let's see here. 2 seats instead of 5. It gives you 10.5 inches of extra bed space. They didn't alter the powertrain in any way. Let's see here. Green paint job, 50-inch light bar, Oracle lighting, flush mount LED tail lights, 17-inch wheels, 37-inch tires. It's got the Lynx 2.5-inch suspension lift, Lost Canyon bed rack, rooftop tent, a rescue winch, and a carnivore front and rear bumper. So
I like the light bar that's behind the windshield. It doesn't really show it that well, but here, Greg actually posted a picture.
oh, like where you're yeah,
So-
Eric says rooftop tent where I don't see a rooftop either in any of these photos.
You know what I see that bothers me the most about this? Like, I actually really like this truck. It looks really good. I don't know what it costs to do this conversion, build it, but enough that you should be able to afford something other than Trailblade, a Tora, or whatever they're called, Trailblade tires.
sponsorship stuff usually
It
how
just-
it works.
I mean, just name brands, cool, or just like, yeah.
Josh says that the approach angle is awesome, but the departure wouldn't be as good. It's not a super long bed. I mean, obviously pickups have worse departure angle than. I mean, look at that picture right there. That's got a pretty decent departure angle, and a lot of people do that bed chop and put some steel slides on it.
And I would point out that speed doesn't increase your approach angle at all, but it does amazing things for your departure angle. So it's got that instant torque from the electric. Just go faster.
Just scoot it.
Send it.
Our next article is 10 must-see trucks and off-road builds at SEMA. The first one is a Baja Designs GX460.
Oh,
It's a white GX460. It's a 2014, but it's basically just every overlanded 460 you've ever seen. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's clean. Here it comes. There it is. Yeah. Every there you go, Ben. Now it's nice and big. Every GX460 you've ever seen. Then they've got the so these have categories. So the first category is Overlander. The next category is the side by side, and this is a Thumper Fab 2022 Can-Am Defender.
bro.
This looks like a golf cart. Like
That will get through the mud right there.
It has an absolutely crazy portal axle, drop something crazy suspension. It's pretty wild. It looks like it's just for bounty holes, and it's running the same bumper as that Jeep from Quadratech.
yeah, it is actually.
Yeah. The next one is the CUV crossover, and it is a 08 Porsche Cayenne Turbo. And what is that brand of tires? I don't remember who makes those tires. Is that
IROC?
it's like Max something?
Maxxis?
Maxxis tires?
No, those
can't
look like
Those
What
look
is
like
it?
Nitto grapplers.
yeah, Nittos, or
Okay.
what's the other one? The Overland dudes use G2. No, I can't think of their name.
I'm not sure. Well, it looks like this one must have competed in something. It's got the number 11 on the side. It's pretty clean looking. It looks body lifted though. A body lifted Porsche Cayenne Turbo, skid plates, rock sliders, rear bumper, roof rack, lights, awning. Although, what do you need an awning for if you're in a race? I'm not sure about that.
Is that an awning or just the side of the rack?
I guess I can't tell.
It's hard to tell. Not the best
Yeah.
quality picture. I mean, look at the picture quality on this one right here.
Yeah, it's a CAD drawing. This category is for EV, and it is a 75 Volkswagen Sandrail. So that honestly would be a great thing to stick an EV engine in. The off-road category is an 86 Toyota Land Cruiser that has no engine, no front end, no doors, no glass.
I'm assuming that's a company that's making new bodies or something.
It just says must see trucks and road builds. So I just not sure. I guess we're gonna find out when we go to SEMA next year and go check out these must sees.
Yeah.
The SUV category is the Quadratec 22 Wrangler,
Which I think was the other one that Greg built.
Boy,
Okay.
it looks so original.
So original.
Yeah.
Sure there wasn't any others like that at SEMA.
Another category for off-road is the Baja Designs 22 Jeep Wrangler, which is a sketch of a JL that's lifted a whole lot and has big tires and beefy axles and custom bucket seats.
I like the bumper though.
Yeah, I like the hood. We'll just skip the lifted truck section. Another off-road is a Wesson Automotive JL Wrangler, which is just a lifted JL. It says Wesson. Aren't those the people that make those damage modifier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wesson's a big group. They bought Super Winch and they own a bunch of companies.
Yeah, they own a lot of companies.
Well, they didn't put one of those type of grill guard front bumper things on their truck, thankfully. Yep. In Overland, Nistec Lifts 22 Nissan Frontier is in there. Good looking
I like
rig.
that truck. Out of all of these, that's like the best looking, I think.
Yeah,
because their build was done sooner.
Yeah, I think this one's been around for a while,
Yeah.
actually. So I'm pretty sure this one is a Titan swapped Nissan, from what I remember reading in some of the Facebook groups. And as you see, the tires stick out from the wheel wells quite a bit, so that makes me think that it's got that extra width from the Titan. Well, we're getting down to the end here. Still got a couple more. Thanks everybody who's sticking around. This one is from Motor Trend, is the best off-road race vehicles. So we've got some trophy trucks in. I don't think there's going to be much to talk about on this one. This one looks like it's, I guess it says score on it. So this one's probably from the Nora 1000. So it's probably like a classic truck, not something that currently competes
Old school.
in
Well, it
Baja.
looks like an old school Ford.
Like
What is the
early 90s OBS Ford or something.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. It's clean. I love the look of it. It's classic.
Period correct.
Yep. And then you scroll down to that next one, and that is nothing that you know of. That is Ultra 4 all the way. So it's class 4400 car, I believe. 40-inch tires. What gets me about this truck is it says it has 3.5-inch diameter shocks. That's not the size of this. That's the shock bodies are 3.5 inches in diameter. I don't know if either of you guys know how big 3.5 inches is, but that is a very big shock diameter.
It's about that wide.
I got 2.5, bro. Okay.
Are yours 2.5?
I don't remember. I think so.
Oh,
Maybe
I don't.
twos.
I think mine are 2.5s also. Now that you say that, so we've got a Class 11 Volkswagen Beetle, which is cool. I'm glad they didn't wash it because this thing looks.
Oh, I
It's
hope they
awesome.
drove it there, like off road the entire way there.
Yeah.
Then they had to push it in and replace the engine.
Then you've got a Pro 2 short course race truck. Says it's got a 410 cubic inch engine with 800 horsepower. These are the ones I think that you see jumping off those jumps on those street courses.
No.
Or is this a dirt truck?
Short course is like the rally arena cross looking thing where they do that, like in the dirt, and they have like a funky track. Yeah, in the dirt. They'll do it indoors and stuff sometimes.
Okay. Don't change the picture. What is that red thing behind this truck? Is that a gremlin? Can you guys tell if that's a gremlin? So what I'm seeing in the back behind this truck for our audio listeners is some red car from the 70s or 80s. It's got a giant Stinger bumper. It's got a roof rack. And I'm only seeing like the front clip of it. It could be an
Is that an
AMC
AMC
Pacer.
Eagle?
I don't think it's an Eagle. I mean, maybe it is. It could be a Pacer. I can't tell. There just isn't enough.
This is why we need to be there.
Yes. We'll cover all the important cars like AMC Eagles.
Yes, we will. Look at this Ford Pinto.
Yeah.
The flames are even going the right direction.
We've got a Toyota Tundra that BJ Baldwin drove in the Unlimited class.
Did not wash it. That's how it needs to be.
Yeah, it says fresh off the championship winning weekend at Best in the Desert Laughlin Desert Classic. Mouthful.
That's awesome.
Now this UTV is more my style. It's not a bounty hole UTV, so cool looking UTV. No information on it, but those look like they're 33s or 35s on that thing.
And they're skinny, so you like that too.
Pretty dope. Josh says mostly stock Tundra. Yeah. Eric says that has back window slants like a Gremlin, so it may be a Gremlin. I don't know. We've got another Ultra 4 rig that looks like a Bronco. Lauren Healy's rig.
The Fun Haver.
Yeah.
That was the one that was at King of the Hammers, right? That jumped?
Yeah. I think so. It just literally just went boom, boom, boom right down those steps.
I don't know. Jump's not the right word. He just drove down a cliff or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yep. So there's the best off-road race vehicles of SEMA.
And they've got some more pictures of the bug. Let's see.
What's that?
That was it. This on the other side of that. That's the Bentec truck.
What was right before that? Oh, no. I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry. You just haven't got to it yet. One more. There we go. Like a early 70s F-150. It may even be an F-100. All trophy trucked out. That thing looks like that would be a whole lot of fun.
That does things for me.
Yeah. So single cab F-150, it's probably like a 73 or 75. I don't really know my mid 70s that well. I'm guessing like 73 or 74. And
the black and gold
big old wide body. It's got 7 KC highlights lights on the top and very minimalist bumper on it. The stack is coming out of the bed, and it's got at least one tire, if not 2, in the bed. It's definitely a trophy truck style rig.
Is that a Nissan?
Yeah. That's a Titan.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
I don't even know what that is. A Ranger?
Could be. I thought they had more pictures of the
Laser Nut Racing.
Laser Nut.
That was quite the bug. Wow.
A Ridgeline.
Yeah,
Baja.
Honda Ridgeline Baja truck. I don't even know why they do that. Who do they think they're fooling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a when you see the funny car that's a Camry, it's like yeah, that looks
Yeah.
your nitro powered fiberglass. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
And then the Monster Energy Bronco.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into this last article here. It is about tires.
Oh,
New off-road tires of SEMA. So the very first one is Koi's, the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss MT. So that now comes in a 42 and a 44-inch size, Koi, in case you were interested.
Well, I was interested in actually a size they already sold. I'm glad that they're making new sizes when they can't keep up with the sizes they make. That's cool. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Yeah.
let's
I would
blame.
much like to buy your new tire had it been available in the last 2 months.
We'll just blame COVID and keep blaming COVID. There's a Toyo Open Country RT. So RT's what is that, like a hybrid train?
I think that one is the hybrid, yeah, between the AT and the MTs. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
you can go to
very
Les Schwab and pay twice as much as you should for your tires.
Yep. Some Patagonia AT Pros. We knew about these. We talked about them on the show. It's a.
Yeah.
They also announced the MTO2, so it's an improved, better, more siping and silica-rich compound to enhance the traction and resist chunking. So it's an upgrade from their current one. The XT is their hybrid. So they're just showing that more sizing. They expanded the sizing at SEMA.
I think I better get these tires fitted soon and then reach out to them, because I think the XT is what I'm going to go for, the Patagonia XT. So it's got that 3-peak mountain snowflake rating. So I really shouldn't get stuck this year at the snow trip with those tires, right?
He's
It would
going
be
to
nice. It would be nice.
Jeremy wouldn't have to pull you up the mountain.
I guess what would be easy is I could just order a 35 or see if 37s fit. I don't know.
I think you should call them up and explain that the overland market is ready for a narrow 37. And if they would make something in a 1050 37, they would sell the daylights out of them, because all the guys on 35s could now bump to a 37.
Well, I thought that they were doing a skinny 35, which
They are,
nobody
but
does.
I can fit 35s that aren't skinny. So
I
why would I want that?
Yeah,
I want a skinny 37 because wide 37s rub too much, but skinny ones I could make work. But no one
Let's see.
makes a skinny 37.
17-inch tires.
Never been done before.
Yeah, no, they just do they do a 37 1250 and a 38 1350.
Nobody
They do a
makes
they do a
37.
they do a 34 11. That's kind of a skinny, but it's only 34.
I used to run that 295 75 R16 as a 34 1150.
And then there's also a 34 1050.
So Falcon also announced the Wild Peak RT, so another hybrid train, which I think is kind of the new.
That is a
these
great
tires.
looking tire. And had that been out when I was buying tires 2 months ago, I would have considered that probably. Like,
And do you
a
think,
lot of siping. That sidewall tread is crazy.
It is.
do you
It
think
is.
that-
I bet that thing weighs a lot, though.
do you think companies are doing the RTs more because so many of the brodozers want the hybrid or want the MT style, but then they have such terrible performance, and they're actually causing more problems instead of
Yeah.
solving them?
And honestly, I don't know about this one, but a lot of the hybrid ones I think are probably worse than the all-terrains off road. If you look, they have such massive tread blocks in the center so close together. A lot of them I don't see how could have better performance than an actual all-terrain, but whatever.
Interesting.
Well, they might do better in the snow.
Cooper has the Discover Rugged Trek tire that was announced, an all-season on-off-road tire. Says it's the most extreme and capable all-season off-road tire available.
all season off road. It
I don't
really
even know
mixing
what
their
that
categories
means.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, because to me it looks like a hybrid tire. It's more aggressive than an all-terrain.
I would go ahead and say that all off-road tires are technically all seasons, right? Like I've never
Well,
had an
not
off-road
necessarily.
tire be like, man, this thing sucks in the summer.
Well, but they suck in the snow.
I mean, not really.
Yeah.
But
And you can get it in a 37-inch tire, so you're not. That's a big tire to. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. They also expanded the sizes for the STT Pros, which are a pretty popular tire. I know a
Yeah,
handful
they
of
are.
running those. And
Yep.
then Chianti, is that how you
Yeah,
say it?
let's skip that. I've never heard of them.
I've heard of them. They're like
Okay.
cheap tires. They have the Overland RTX, so they're hitting that market.
Gotcha.
They've got a skinny 35, which is there used to be like 2 options. I think now we have 3 or 4 for skinny 35.
Well, it says that this tire was created for people who enjoy off-road adventures but desire smooth and comfortable ride on the highway as well. Turn
Yeah.
your radios up. That's all we got to say. Turn your radio up.
so they made an all-terrain and called it an overland tire.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. It's got curb appeal with extra biting edges.
Extra fighting edges.
Yeah. Well, that's it for tires. The last thing we want to mention is just some of the product that won different things. So, in the exterior accessory products, runner-up was I don't care about that one. Well, I don't care about that one either. So the winner of so I don't care about the runners up, but the winner of the exterior accessory products was an angled front fender flare for the Bronco by a company called Trail FX. So there you go.
Which is one of the sister companies for Warren Industries, if I remember correctly. And then for the off-road four-wheel drive product, don't care about that. For that runner-up, for this one, I kind of care. It's an integrated Aero windshield LED light bar system for the Bronco from Oracle. I believe it's got like so instead of getting that really bad wind noise, it's got like a curved plastic piece around the front of it, if I remember correctly. And then the winner was from John Curry Rock Jock. They did an adjustable front bump stop kit for the JL, JT, and JK.
Yeah. I wonder this Oracle lighting windshield LED light bar system for the Bronco. I wonder if that's kind of what we saw on that one F-150 that we were looking at earlier.
Oh, could have been.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
And then the last one here says packaging design. The winner of that was Bubba Off-Road Truck Recovery Gear Set. Bubba Off-Road Recovery Gear. So
actually, I'm going to share this because this is actually pretty cool. The Bronco.
Oh, that's a good looking product, I guess.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the old visors on like the J trucks and such.
On like the brick nose Fords and stuff.
Yeah. It's clean. I like that. That's it's a lot better than like that Bronco I saw in Montana and was laughing about. Where you could fit your arm between the light bar and the roof, which when we were at what was it called? The Dunes.
Christmas Valley.
Christmas Valley.
The guy with the Bronco, he works for Ford. We were talking, I was talking about that light bar, and he said that depending upon the model you have, like if you have a hard top or a soft top, it varies with that light bar on the spacing, and it's to prevent noise. So they space it out. They throw it into space so that you don't hear it.
Oh, you make a whole lot of space and it lets the wind go through without whistling.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So yeah. Well, that runs up our SEMA
Well, that's
cover this year.
yeah, that's this year's SEMA cover. Next year we're going to probably have maybe a couple episodes worth because we're going to go there. Maybe we'll do something live from there. We're going to see some stuff, see some people, sit in some rigs, talk to some people. And
I'll be bringing some audio equipment with me. Who knows? We might I might just whip out my friend and my phone and go live and talk to somebody. No, I'm not whipping out my friend Aaron.
Have you guys thought about bringing your vehicles for SEMA? Because looking at some of these SEMA builds, I feel like you could get yours in a booth.
You think I could get mine in a booth?
No, I'm not talking to you.
but what does it cost? What does it cost? What does it cost?
Well, gas is like $5 a gallon, and then you got to drive there.
Besides that, like, what would a space cost? I mean, we'd have to look into that, but
no, I mean, you guys, you're the off-road podcast. You got clout. You get in with Quadratech or Northridge or somebody and park your stuff there.
I see what you're saying. So we just got to find somebody and park our rig at their booth. So
somebody's going to have their project 3/4 of the way finished, and you're like, "Look, man, maybe SEMA next year. Why don't we just bring my truck since it runs? I'll drive it there. We'll park it."
Yeah, a tire, maybe a tire sponsor.
Yeah,
you're like, Milestar, would you let me please park at your booth?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. That's a really good idea. These tires that aren't intended to fit on this vehicle, on wheels that aren't intended for this vehicle, on the suspension that isn't intended for this vehicle.
Now we're on this vehicle that's totally built and definitely not bought.
And if you guys do get your vehicles in a booth there, I'm going to secretly go and like take off your shift knobs and just steal a bunch of random crap off your vehicle.
Dude, man, that is so crazy. I remember you talking about that back in I think the Boost, Booze, and Barbecue days where people were stealing the shift knobs from the Shelby 500 GT or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I've got, well, you could steal my shift knob because it's just like a little black ball because mine came with like this weird lizard rock thing. And I just found.
I literally have no idea what the last three sentences you like. I don't even understand. Do you have a stroke right now, or
yeah? So when I bought my 4Runner, instead of having this factory shift lever, it had like this rock with a lizard on it for the shift knob.
So there's a Sobe bottle,
pretty much. Travis is saying the Warren booth might hold us up.
Yeah. Maybe.
We're not.
I wouldn't want to offend him.
Well, if I paint my 4Runner red, right? Do like some Warren colors, they might like that.
It's possible.
I don't think they would encourage you to.
No, they probably would
do that.
We don't want to affiliate ourselves with this guy.
Yeah, I think they're gonna look for some Broncos or something cool. Not that your 4Runner's not cool, but it's not.
It's not cool.
Yeah, something that
people want to look at.
Yeah, something relevant, I guess is the word. Relevant. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe if we got Ben's rig there and my rig and we had the fake ditch and we were winching him out of the fake ditch or something with a Warren winch just stretched out taut, and yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
What if we got Ben's rig there and then we got a sledgehammer and it was like $5 per smack? Wait, no,
man.
Listen,
please.
We Raptor line it, and then we have it at the Raptor liner booth, and then they can see how tough the Raptor liner is.
Let's do it, Ben. You're gonna make so much money.
You probably actually buy a brand new 4Runner if you did that.
I would need, yeah.
We're doing it. Yeah.
Josh has a great idea here. Just put mine on its lid and winch it back over.
Just roll it. Yep. All right. Well, I think we're getting a little drunk here on the show. So we want to tell everybody thank you for listening. Definitely a long show, almost 2 hours long tonight. We appreciate you guys for hanging out and commenting and make sure that you send in your entry for if you won the lottery, what truck you're going to buy, how you're going to build it, and where you're going to use it. So
I'm
we want to read those. Coy, make sure you send yours in. If you win, we won't give you that prize.
Good.
Maybe I'll buy you a block of cheese or something as a consolation prize because you're just too close to us to win.
In an Otter Pop thing for you.
Yeah. So, but we do really appreciate you guys. We appreciate our listeners. You guys are the reason we do this. Otherwise, I'd just talk to myself more than I would be doing right now. So, appreciate you guys. God bless America.
Oh, am I supposed to turn on like this closing music here?
Yes.
Oh.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren Medical Gear Outfitters and Colby Valve to see all their great gear. We're a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a comment or question? Send it to us through our webpage at firearmsradio.net or through our social media channels by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, be safe, and courteous. Thanks for listening.